When most people step into a room with high status individuals, whether C suite executives, industry titans, or high net worth investors, their natural behavior subtly betrays them. Driven by an underlying fear of being judged or dismissed, they reflexively shift into approval seeking mode. They smile excessively, nod compulsively at every remark, laugh too loudly at minor jokes, and over explain their background in a subconscious bid to prove they belong. But what they fail to realize is that powerful, high status people possess hyper attuned social radar. They read nonverbal cues instantly. When you over accommodate, nod excessively, or project nervous eagerness, you signal a clear lack of internal authority. You inadvertently communicate that you view them as superior and yourself as subordinate. In response, powerful people do not feel flattered. They feel tired, disengaged, and instinctively lower their respect for you. Mendel Carnegie wrote extensively on the foundational principle of human interaction. True influence and lasting respect are never earned through subservience or shallow flattery. They are built on mutual dignity, grounded confidence, and authentic presence. High-powered individuals are surrounded by yes-men, flatterers, and people who constantly walk on eggshells around them. What they rarely encounter, and what they respect above all else, is an individual who meets them with total composure, calm self-assurance, and absolute equality of status. Mandus. Commanding immediate respect from powerful people requires a fundamental shift in your internal frame. Abandon the need for validation. Stop viewing the interaction as an evaluation of your worth. You are not asking for permission to occupy space. And establish status equality. Treat powerful individuals with genuine warmth and high regard, but never with submissive deference or awe. Embrace physical and vocal stillness. High status signals are rooted in calmness, deliberate micro movements, and comfortable silence. Palind. When you interact with a powerful leader, your goal is not to impress them with grand statements or desperate competence. It is to demonstrate through your body language, tone, and presence that you are entirely grounded in your own authority. When you show that you are unshakable in their presence, they immediately recognize you as a peer worth respecting. In the next section, we will break down the exact physical mechanics of high status body language and how spatial relaxation instantly communicates unforced authority. Approaching powerful individuals with calm composure and equal status posture commands immediate, unforced respect. The single fastest indicator of relative status in any interaction is spatial and bodily control. High-power individuals process non-verbal signals long before they listen to the specific words coming out of your mouth. When someone feels intimidated or insecure in a high-stakes environment, their autonomic nervous system triggers subtle flee and shrink responses. They narrow their shoulders, tuck their chin, fidget with pens or clothing, and make rapid, jerky micro-adjustments. Bender to powerful people, these erratic physical adjustments scream low self-worth and high anxiety. Conversely, high-status individuals project a distinct physical signature marked by two fundamental qualities: unhurried movement and spatial ownership. Embryon to command immediate respect through physical presence alone. Execute these three high-status body language mechanics. First, deploy spatial relaxation. Low-status individuals collapse inward to minimize their presence, as if apologizing for taking up room. High-status communicators take up space naturally and comfortably. Keep your shoulders rolled back, expand your chest, and leave your posture open. never crossing your arms or hunching forward defensively. When seated at a conference table, rest your hands flat or loosely clasped on the table without gripping the edges tightly. Second, practice the slow motion rule. Insecure people move fast. They nod rapidly, dart their eyes across the room, turn their heads abruptly when spoken to, and speak at an accelerated cadence. This rapid pacing conveys that you are in a rush to justify your presence before someone cuts you off. To project absolute authority, slow everything down by 20%. Turn your whole torso, not just your head. When someone calls your name, rotate your core deliberately rather than snapping your neck toward them. And pace your gestures. Use smooth, controlled hand movements that settle into stillness when you finish speaking. And eliminate nervous fidgeting. Never tap your foot, shift your weight back and forth, or play with your phone. Dale. Carnegie observed that true dignity radiates from an inner core of quiet stability. When you force your body into physical stillness, your brain interprets that calmness as real confidence, instantly lowering your internal anxiety and signaling to everyone in the room that you cannot be easily rattled. Third, master the steady gaze anchor. Low-status individuals drop their eyes or break eye contact quickly whenever a powerful person looks directly at them, fearing that maintaining eye contact will appear confrontational. High-status people hold steady, relaxed eye contact without staring aggressively. When speaking to a high-powered leader, maintain eye contact for 3 to 4 seconds at a time before looking away casually. And when you break contact, look horizontally to the side, never down toward the floor. Bend. When you walk into a room with spatial relaxation, unhurried movements, and an anchored gaze, you radiate an aura of untouchable self-possession. Powerful people recognize these non-verbal cues immediately because they share them, and they will instantly treat you as a natural equal. Dubbed in the next section, we will explore how to match conversational pacing and eliminate low-status verbal habits that sabotage your influence, executing spatial relaxation and unhurried physical movements. Communicates unshakable internal authority to high-powered leaders. Once you master high-status physical presence, your verbal delivery determines whether that initial respect is reinforced or instantly shattered. Low-status communicators inadvertently undermine their own authority through verbal insecurity. When addressing a powerful leader, they speak too quickly, clutter their sentences with filler words, and deploy upwards inflections at the end of statements, turning clear facts into timid questions. Even more damaging is the habit of preemptive self-discounting. In an effort to appear humble or avoid criticism, insecure people cushion their contributions with apologetic qualifiers. This might be a silly idea, but or I'm no expert, but I was just thinking, or sorry to bother you, I know you're super busy. To a powerful executive, these qualifiers signal that even you do not believe your words carry value. High-powered leaders do not have time to wade through self-deprecation to find the substance of your message. They respect conciseness, precision, and conviction. Bendale, Carnegie emphasized that effective communication requires meeting people on their emotional and psychological frequency. Powerful individuals operate in an environment characterized by high-stakes decisions, constant noise, and extreme time scarcity. They respect communicators who value their time and deliver ideas with crisp, unyielding clarity, ambient to command immediate respect through your verbal delivery. Deploy these 3 high-status linguistic mechanics. First, execute the power of the pre-speech pause. When a powerful person asks you a question or seeks your input, do not rush to fill the silence immediately. Low status individuals react with instant, panic driven speech because they fear losing the floor. Instead, take a full 2-second breath, hold steady eye contact, and process the question before speaking. This simple pause communicates that you are thoughtful, composure driven, and utterly unbothered by conversational pressure. MD second, adopt the downward inflection. Ensure the pitch of your voice drops naturally at the end of your sentences rather than rising. Downward inflection transforms your statements into solid declarations of fact that, whereas upward inflection makes even brilliant insights sound like a desperate plea for approval. Third, eliminate approval-seeking feedback loops. Stop looking at the leader for non-verbal validation, such as searching their face for smiles or nods after every sentence. Deliver your insight, land your point cleanly on a period, and stop talking. And consider the vast difference in status between these two approaches in a board meeting. Low status delivery. So, I was thinking we could maybe adjust the QC marketing budget. If that makes sense to everyone? Sorry, I know we already set the baseline. In high status delivery, after a 2-second pause, downward inflection, reallocating 15% of the QC marketing budget to direct acquisition will optimize our yield by Friday. Here are the 3 core data points. Notice how the second delivery project's unforced competence, it contains 0 filler, 0 apologies, and absolute conviction. By matching a powerful person's demand for efficiency and clarity, you instantly prove that you operate on their level. In the next section, we will cover how to challenge powerful people constructively without appearing insubordinate or triggering ego defensiveness. Delivering concise insights with downward pitch inflection and 0 self-discounting qualifiers commands immediate executive respect. Nothing solidifies your standing as an absolute peer to high-powered leaders faster than how you handle constructive disagreement. Low-status individuals operate under a fatal misconception. They believe that pleasing a powerful person means agreeing with everything they say. They nod along to flawed strategies, suppress valid objections, and echo the leader's opinions in real time. Lambda. What they miss is that powerful leaders are often surrounded by echo chambers. Exceptional executives know that yes men are a liability. They obscure operational risks, validate bad assumptions, and fail to prevent costly mistakes. When a leader encounters someone who blindly agrees with every word, they classify them as an unthinking sycophant. Conversely, when you demonstrate the courage to challenge a powerful person's perspective, politely, objectively, and with rigorous grounding, you instantly set yourself apart from the crowd. Carnegie's timeless work emphasizes that arguing erectly or attacking someone's ego destroys rapport, but guiding someone toward a sharper solution through shared interest creates deep professional alignment. Challenging a powerful person is not about picking a fight. It is about protecting the collective objective from blind spots. Bend to challenge high-status leaders constructively, without triggering defensiveness. Deploy these 3 strategic frameworks. First, execute the objective pivot. Never attack the leader personally or declare that their idea is wrong. Frame your pushback around shared goals, risk mitigation, or empirical data. Shift the focus from who is right to what serves the objective best. Low status disagreement, that idea won't work because the budget is way too tight. Band high status strategic pushback. I share your focus on maximizing market share this quarter. Looking at the current allocation, moving forward with this aggressive rollout introduces a 15% cost overrun risk. What if we run a controlled 2-week pilot first to validate the numbers? Then notice the absolute mastery of the second approach. You aligned completely with their high-level intent, presented a clear risk factor without emotion, and offered a high-leverage alternative. Second, deploy Socratic inquiry. Instead of dropping an outright contradiction on the table, ask targeted, high-level questions that guide the leader to discover the potential flaw on their own. That is an ambitious target. How do you see our current supply chain absorbing the additional 30% volume in week 1? By inviting them to solve the logistical constraint with you, you preserve their ego while proving that you possess the strategic foresight required to execute at an executive level. And third, execute the Ben Franklin protocol. When a powerful person offers a brilliant counterpoint or corrects a detail in your proposal, do not respond with defense. Acknowledge their point immediately with calm, unbothered grace. Oh, that is an excellent point regarding the regulatory timeline. Adjusting for that parameter makes the entire rollout much tighter. Linda, when a powerful leader sees that you push back with objective courage when necessary, yet accept valid corrections with absolute composure, they realize you are driven entirely by high-level execution rather than fragile ego. You cease to be just another subordinate in their orbit. You become a trusted advisor whose counsel they actively seek out. But in our final movement, we will synthesize these physical, verbal, and psychological dynamics into a master framework for maintaining long-term equal status relationships with top-tier influencers. Challenging powerful leaders through objective data and collaborative framing transforms you from a sycophant into a trusted peer. Earning the immediate respect of powerful people is a decisive tactical victory, but sustaining that respect over time requires a permanent shift in how you view social status, value exchange, and your own internal authority. High-powered leaders do not build lasting alliances with people who treat them like celebrities or fear their influence. They form deep, enduring partnerships with individuals who operate with absolute self-mastery, maintain immovable boundaries, and consistently bring quiet, unforced value to the table. Lamdale. Carnegie's entire body of work rests on a singular truth: genuine human connection flourishes only when rooted in mutual respect, radical authenticity, and deep empathy. When you strip away the intimidation factor and see powerful individuals simply as human beings navigating high-stakes pressures, your internal baseline settles the tone. You stop performing, stop over-strategizing, and simply show up as a grounded, highly competent equal. Leads, as you integrate these high-status principles into your daily interactions, keep these foundational rules at the center of your practice. Own your physical footprint, command space, naturally with relaxed posture, unhurried micro movements, and steady, anchored eye contact. Embed. Eliminate approval-seeking speech. Speak with downward inflection. Embrace 2-second pauses before responding, and strip away apologetic qualifiers. When offer courageous, objective value, challenge blind spots, constructively using data, shared goals, and collaborative Socratic inquiry. Never trade integrity for approval. Treat powerful leaders with immense respect, but never surrender your self-worth or boundaries to please them. Dandia. When you master these habits, a remarkable transformation occurs. You cease to be another face in the crowd, vying for attention or seeking validation. You step into every executive suite, boardroom, or high-stakes social setting with the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who belongs. By treating yourself with total self-respect, you give powerful people no other choice but to respect you in return, elevating your influence, accelerating your career, and opening doors to elite levels of success. And operating with unshakable self-respect and grounded composure builds lasting equal status partnerships with top-tier leaders